right. Welcome everybody to what is probably the last installment of the Marlboro College Alumni Speaker Series, at least for a while. My name is Maya Segura, and I'm the class of 1991, and I've been Alumni Director for almost the last 2 years. I started this series to showcase the depth and breadth of the excellent work of Marlboro College alumni, and our guests have ranged from poets to philosophers to a writer of contemporary operas, a writer and producer of an iconic podcast, and more. The series began in person on Potash Hill, but we've had to adapt in the age of COVID, so here we are in Zoom, and we are actually recording this event. Joining us tonight for an unmasked traditional folk roots and Americana music performance are Jason Breen, class of 1992. Hey, Jason. Helen Hummel, class of 2009. Tobey Sol LaRoche, class of 2009 or 10. We'll talk about that later. Clayton Clemetson, class of 2019, and his brother Willy, who is technically class of 2019, but non-matriculated. But we don't hold that against you, Willy. This is likely to be the last official event of Marlboro College as we know it, and I can't think of more talented and passionate alumni to feature. All of these people have brought resilience and heart to our community and create community wherever they go. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, guys. Yay. So happy to have you. Yeah, together, they will be donating any proceeds or tips from tonight's performance to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. If you would like to contribute to that, you can find the link to Helen's Venmo in the chat window. A word on our structure this evening: we will have 4 acts, and then we will do a Q&A at the end. Feel free to submit your questions at any time, but we do ask that you use the Q&A function that's either the top or the bottom of your screen, depending on your device, and not the chat function. So please, please, please use the Q&A. We will be starting off with Jason Breen, all the way from Brattleboro, Vermont. Jason studied woodworking and instrument building at Marlboro, specializing in stringed fretted instruments. 30 years later, he is still working wood, but there are no strings attached to his furniture and home accessories. He says music is a pastime meant to be shared with friends and family, although his teenage children would rather he not. His influences are from traditional Isles songs, American blues, and bluegrass, which inform a varied repertoire of traditional and modern songs. Jason aspires to write songs, but so far finds words harder to work than wood. Past performances include open mics and Facebook Live events, friend and family weddings, and an irregular coffee house gig during his college career. Jason, are your kids watching you tonight?
Oh, no, of course not.
No, of course not. Well, that's good. Well, take it away.
Why don't you go on? Go on.
We're going to disappear.
Okay, bye.
Bye. But we're still here.
Okay, all right. So, here we are. I thought I've been watching Facebook too much, of course, lately, and seeing, among other things, the 10 best albums or 10 favorite albums, and it's had me thinking about who my influences are. And so that's what I'm going to present tonight, is some songs from people that were really influential for me in my life. I'm going to start with a John Harford song. I saw a presentation of his on television years ago when I was probably 10, and he played like 15 different instruments, or at least that's what it seemed like to me, including clogging, and it was just really inspiring to me. I was not a musician at the time. I didn't know anything about it. I just thought, wow, that's really cool. And later in life, I circled back around to his music and found it really spoke to me. So here's one called Tall Buildings. someday, my baby, when I am a man, and others have taught me the best that they can. They buy me a suit and cut off my hair, send me to work in tall buildings. So it's goodbye to the sunshine, goodbye to the dew, it's goodbye to the flowers, and goodbye to you. I'm off to the subway, I must not be late. I'm going to work in tall buildings. When I retire, my life is my own. I've made all the pavements, it's time to go home. And wonder what happened betwixt and between, when I went to work in tall buildings. So it's goodbye to the sunshine, goodbye to the dew, it's goodbye to the flowers, and goodbye to you. I'm off to the subway, I must not be late. I'm rolling to work in tall buildings. So it's goodbye to the sunshine, goodbye to the dew, it's goodbye to the flowers, and goodbye to you. I'm off to the subway, I must not be late. Going to work in tall buildings. All right, that's John Harford. Great songwriter, amazing banjo picker. Another songwriter that had a lot of influence on me is Cindy Calot from the Massachusetts Islands, Cape Cod Islands, and she wrote a lot of sea songs. One of the few people that's actually still writing sea shanties, not so much for hauling on ropes and such, but just as a musical form. Beautiful work she writes, and her very first album was very big in the folk world, especially in New England, and that album is called Working on Wings to Fly, and this is the title track. Crow mobbing up a hawthorn soul, clouds soaring in the sky, me working down around this rocky old, working on the wings to fly, Lord, working on the wings to fly. New friends catching up a fish tonight, gonna haul them to the stars, come tumbling down. Me, I'm riding high tonight, dreaming of her coming around, good Lord, dreaming of her coming around. And geese come rising out of the field, headed for the eastern shore. Me, I'd fly on every wing, just to give you something more, dear friend, give you something more. Sheer water swooping on an old gray wave, north wind scooping up the sea. These cold autumn days make me run with joy, looking for a way to be free, good Lord, looking for a way to be me. This moon gonna keep me walking tonight, the sky's gonna make me sing. All I want is to share with you something of this feeling, dear friend, something of this feeling. the sky, hammering down her on this rocky old earth, working on wings to fly, good Lord, working on wings to fly. All right, that's Cindy Calot, working on wings to fly, or sometimes simply called Crow. I was working on the house a lot today. I've been doing some finishing up on my son's bedroom, so that's kind of hits home for me right there with the hammering down here on this rocky old earth. Probably more than anyone else, Gordon Bach has had a huge influence on me musically. Also a lot of sea songs, but also a lot of Australian songs and a lot of farming songs. Comes from rural Maine, and just has sung with all kinds of people doing beautiful songs from many other songwriters as well as much of his own. He calls it more than writing. He calls it making, song making, and this is one by one of his favorite songwriters or poets, J.B. Goodenough. And this is called Apples in the Basket. It really speaks to me because my wife and our family and her family before that are farmers and homesteaders, and so this speaks to what that life is like. The sun comes over the top of the hill, shines on the fields I've yet to till. My bones are weary, but I know I will, and not just because you ask it. Rake and hoe hung on 20-penny nails, milk lies sweet in a dozen pails, hay piled up in 100 bales, and apples in the basket. A house that's tight to the wind and snow, a barn that's full of the things we grow, an empty purse, but I don't owe a thing to any man living. A woman warm, a woman kind, a woman that knows just what's behind, a woman who knows just what's behind the things she's forgiven. Branches on the family tree, a boy and a girl and the baby's 3. They look like her, they look like me, like folks that's dead and gone now. But I don't care, we're all the same. We're doing it in the family name, doing it in the family name, the work we carry on. Old gray goose is on the wing, but he'll be back again next spring. Each year we do the same old thing, and the same old wheel goes spinning. The air is warm and the earth is sweet, the good clean dirt is on our feet. The circle comes around complete, and the end is the beginning. The sun comes over the top of the hill, shines on the fields I've yet to till. My bones are weary, but I know I will, and not just because you ask it. Rake and hoe hung on 20-penny nails, milk lies sweet in a dozen pails, hay piled up in 100 bales, and apples in the basket. All right. Gordon Bach, a song called Apples in the Basket, actually written by J.B. Goodenough, but performed by Gordon Bach. Here's a song for our times, when we're all stuck inside way too much with so much worry and fear and anxiety. I learned this from Doc Watson, who's another huge influence on me. I think on just about every guitar picker I know. When I was studying guitar making down in West Virginia, before I came to Marlboro, the summer before, I took a course down there with Wayne Henderson, and he and all the other musicians that used to gather in the basement workshop where we were at, we would all try to pick licks like Doc Watson, and some actually managed to do it. Of course, there was a lot of just amazing pickers there, amazing pickers in their own right down there with us, and that was an amazing time. Really opened my eyes and ears to a kind of music that I had not been familiar with, that country picking and bluegrass style that's so prevalent in the southern mountains. And so this one is, I'm not gonna pick like Doc, that's for sure. That'd be too embarrassing. But this song I heard him do many years ago, and I've always loved it. I loved it when it was on the radio when I was a kid, and it really makes a lot of sense right now in these crazy days. This is a Crystal Gayle song called "Ready for the Times to Get Better." I'm gonna go up a little bit here with the capo and my guitar. I apologize, you guys can't see my guitar. I'm gonna adjust my screen just a little bit, camera a little bit, so you can see there. There. Okay. I've gotta tell you, been racking my brain, hoping to find a way out. I've had enough of this continual rain. Change is coming, no doubt. It's been a too long time with no peace of mind, and I'm ready for the times to get better. It's been a long, lonely time with no peace of mind, and I'm ready for the times to get better. Try to take from me what I cannot give. I feel so lonesome sometimes, and I have dreams that I've been trying to live. It's burning holes in my mind. It's been a too long time with no peace of mind, and I'm ready for the times to get better. It's been a long, lonely time, peace of mind, and I'm ready for the times to get better. Okay. Crystal Gayle, ready for the times to get better. This is my last song I'm going to do, and this is in honor of Chris Crosby. Nee Sherp was a classmate of Maya's, perhaps. Certainly a few years before I was at Marlboro. She passed away this past week and a half ago or so. She had lung cancer for a while, and I'm not exactly sure on the details, but at some point her family had to take her off life support, and we all got that announcement a day ahead of time, and had a chance to say our prayers or send our wishes and communicate together. And it was a very odd feeling to think of somebody that we love, somebody that I love from all those years ago, just before they slip away from this world. Anyways, I was grateful to know about that and be thinking about her and sending her prayers and hope and dreams of a safe flight and a safe journey to wherever it is that we go. So Chris Sherp, I hadn't seen Chris in about 30 years, and 2 years ago she came to one of our JALF reunions, which was amazing to see her and reconnect for that evening, and then the following year again. And God, I'm going to miss her at the next one. So this is in honor of Chris Sherp. This is another influence of mine. Mary McCausland is a Vermont singer-songwriter. She wrote this in 1977, and I've been playing this for probably 35 years. I know I used to play this at Marlboro. So anybody that's been around that remembers some of those old open mics that I used to do might remember this song. You can sing on the chorus if you want. I'm going to change the capo here to capo 1. Okay. Saw an old friend the other day, San Francisco by the bay. Took me back to only yesterday, the years somehow that slip away. Laughed and talked about the days gone by, brushed a tear away with a sigh. Promise not to let it be this long, like the old refrain from an old song. Remember old friends you made along the way, the gifts they've given stay with us every day. Looking back, it makes me wonder where we're going, how long we'll stay. I know the road brings rain and thunder, but for the journey, what will we pay? I often think times get crazier as this old world goes around and round, but just a memory makes it easier as the highway goes up and down. Remember old friends you made along the way, the gifts they've given stay with us every day. Lately word's been coming back to me, there's a few I will no longer see. Their faces will we see no more along the road, there'll be a few less hands to hold. For the ones whose turn is ended, though they started so much the same, in the hearts of those befriended burns a candle with a silver flame. they've given to stay with us every day. Remember old friends who made along the way, gifts they've given to stay with us every day. Okay. Mary McCaslin, Old Friends. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. I have a barking dog right now. This is not convenient. But this is the Zoom era. It's not a real Zoom event if an animal doesn't show up somewhere, right? That was really beautiful, Jason. And thank you so much for honoring Chris with that song. I feel her. I really feel like she's here with us. And if anybody could be, she would be. Absolutely.
You would be, sure.
What's that?
Not much dancing. She loved to dance.
Oh, and smile. Smiling was her favorite.
Smiling
anyway.
was her favorite.
Quick question for you. You worked with Tim Little and Gib Taylor as your plan sponsors, right? Is that right?
Not Tim Little. I worked with Edmund.
Oh, no kidding. And then you focused on the design of Renaissance musical instruments and you built some? Yeah?
Lute. Yeah,
a lute? Do you mind if I share a picture of your lute?
Right. You found it, huh?
I found it.
Good.
Okay, I'll take that as a yes.
Yes, please.
Did you play this lute?
I did some, yeah. It's really no different than a guitar, except that it's funny shaped, and it has an extra string. So on my guitar, I've got 6 strings, right? And a lute has one extra higher than this, so it'd be here. No, it'd be there. There it is. So 7 courses is what it's called, but 6 of those courses are doubled strings. So this is a 13-string lute, and I followed directions in some. It was in a book. I think it was a book written by a friend and colleague of what was her name? Art history. Who taught art history?
Willeen.
Willeen Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Savannah. This book, and Willeen turned me on to this book and this writer, and wow, it was really fantastic to have all these faculty members, Stan, Sharkey, and Willeen, and Edmund Brailsford, and Gib Taylor, just helping me out, trying to find my way through that. It was an amazing experience, plan, and then to have Stan come and sit in on my outside examination, because we were going to talk about lutes, which was his main gig, was really fascinating. A lot of fun. It was a really good time. Nerve-wracking for sure. Like, I was nervous, but
yeah.
But that was it was probably one of the best conversations I've ever had in my life.
Oh, that's wonderful. And do you still have the lute?
I still have the lute. It's in my shop. I rarely play it. It's kind of hard to play.
I bet.
The music.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jason. And yeah, I guess we probably should move on to our next victim, right?
Thank you, Maya. Thank you for coming up with this online presentation. I was sorry to not have a live performance that we had talked about as the sort of last rites, but here we are able to share and be together in this crazy new way. And,
absolutely. And thank you for inspiring this. And I'm super hopeful that at some point we will have a proper last rites where we can do all those things that we wanted to do.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Over and out.
Over and out. Helen, come on down. So next, all the way from South Hadley, Mass. Helen Hummel is a Vermont native. Her music reflects the rural landscape of her upbringing and explores the styles of folk, Americana, and indie, among many others. Helen released her first full-length album in 2017. The album's title, Many Waters, comes from James Joyce's collection of poems, Chamber Music. Helen studied Joyce for her plan of concentration, and as a part of one independent project, set 2 of his poems to music. She has since transformed her musical adaptation of the poem, All Day I Hear the Noise of Waters, into the title track of her album with her own lyrics and vision. Wow, that kind of hurts my head a little bit to get there. She currently lives in Western Mass, where she's working on her next EP. She has played at the historic Bitter End in New York City and the legendary Viper Room in Los Angeles. She regularly tours through her home state of Vermont and Greater New England. Helen has opened for such artists as Anais Mitchell. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, nailed it. Poco, Red Wanting Blue, The Salty Sweets, and Chelsea Williams. And a quick, well, you play, and then I'll ask you a little question after.
Okay.
Go, girl.
Right. Well, I will mention that my internet has been going in and out this whole time. So if you can't hear me at any point, just tell me that it sounded good, and I will believe you. I'm going to start with that title track of my album, Many Waters. The first couple lines are still the Joyce poem. There, all day I hear the noise of many waters making moan, sad as a seabird is when going forth alone. Joyce's poetry sucked, but it was the only way I could get music into my plan, was to put a couple of his poems to music, so I did that, and then I got kind of a whole album out of it. So thanks for your bad poetry, James, Joyce. Hopefully the songs are a little bit better. So.
This is awful.
I think your mic is still on, actually. The same I'm staying down. I'm only one. It's sound. I'm way down and I'm staying down. Should be easy. Should be easy. Should be one, two, three. All right, well, I hope that didn't freeze too much for you. I have no way of knowing, so I'll assume it didn't. Assume it was great. Anyway, okay, cool. Somebody just texted me. Thanks, Shuma. Good, good. This whole internet stuff is like not my realm, so I'm adapting, and I'm really glad we can still get together and share things and these things and music things and all that stuff as much as we can. So, moving right along, I tried to pick songs that are mostly somehow Marlboro related. It seemed appropriate. This one is not in the context, but I used Brian Mooney's writing prompt, the Storymatic, which I think I'll talk about later at the end a little bit more, but really helped me get over some writer's block and stuff. So I used his game to write this song, and it was kind of magic. I just pulled a few cards with prompts on them, and this song came out. It's called Sleepwalker, and here it is. So you think you can leave just cause you're leaving in the night. Hey, sleep, talk the house, you say these things to me just cause we're laying side by side. Everybody knows nights like these, when the dark fills up with doubt, when it's so broke, blood and broken teeth are filling up my mind. I want you to stay. I want you to stay. I this tiny room, your measured steps. It ain't always sweet. I can't go awake and hold my breath. I guess that's good enough for me. I want you to stay. I want you to stay. I want you to stay. Can't find my mouth open. You're still full of blood and broken teeth. I can't let go. Ain't it twice? Like these, all stars to show. All stars to show. You never slow, you never turn. You never bow. Honey, I never learned how to keep you in this bed. I want you to stay. I want you to stay. I want you to stay here. I want you to stay.
Hey, Helen. Hi. Hi, it's me. Toby and I were wondering if your original sound maybe got disabled. Do you want to check your setting real quick?
Does it sound like garbage? Let's look. Well, I just clicked it again, so.
Sounds better.
Cool. Oh, you know, actually, my internet's so bad it crashed during Jason's thing, so it probably reset itself. Well, thank you for that. Too bad. Whatever. Too late. Okay. Well, just have this little timer going so I don't go too long. Okay, cool.
You got this, boo-boo.
Don't ever call me boo-boo again, but thank you very much. So I'm gonna play another slightly James Joyce inspired song. I wrote this right after college. I lived in Portland, Maine for a while, and I worked underground in parking garages and decided to quit smoking at the same time, which should be required to smoke cigarettes if you work in a parking garage. But anyway, and I didn't know what to do with all this like James Joyce shit going around in my head, so that's kind of where this song came in. So there are some. I don't think there are any like full direct quotes from Ulysses or James Joyce, but there's like some, you know, I cherry picked, I scrambled egged it. So this is called Little Houses. You're stuck in the pain. You got nothing to say to me. abrupt ending. Okay. I forgot that Toby and I and Ari Ocarina played that at Marlboro College whilst opening for Anais Mitchell. So there's your full circle. You're welcome. Okie doke. Cool. It looks like I've got time for one more. This one's not really connected to Marlboro. It's one of my newer songs. I've been working on a music video for it. Stop motion music video, which I don't think I'll ever do again. Anyway, I'm just gonna play it. It's called Floodline. In the right key, that might help. I can sing high, but not that high. I wanna be the one to take it all. Be the one to come over the wall. I wanna be the one to wash out the bridge. I wanna be the ground when it gives, but we both know that you have to follow me down here. This time I'm sinking slow. My mama said it'll come to my head down here below. That line, oh no. When the river takes the road. So I went up to my knees, yeah, way to my chest. Oh, please, well, I thought I knew it best when I said the water's too cold to swim. It was way too high to cross. Didn't hit the line, my friend, oh, no, I'm lost, and you know it.
Wow. Okay, clapping. I'm seriously actually clapping now. Thank you. Beautiful, Helen. So I was going to ask you about Storymatic, You kind of talked about that. I don't know if you have more to say, or if you would rather talk about where your tips and proceeds are going tonight.
Well, our tips and proceeds are going to the NAACP Defense Fund. Toby and I talked about it ahead of time, and then we talked to the other people involved, and we just felt sort of irresponsible doing, like, promoting things on the internet right at this very moment without trying to do something that is a part of, like, this huge, amazing movement. And somehow my iPad's not plugged in, even though it's plugged in. So it might die in a second. So I'm going to. But anyway, I did also just want to say, well, I had something I wanted to say about the Storymatic besides how great it is. But
Do it.
I'm sort of blanking on it now. But I was lucky enough to take a couple classes with Brian Mooney when he was a teacher at Marlboro. He also went to Marlboro before that, and his classes helped me switch from visual art major to literature, and he introduced me to James Joyce. Not personally, but and he had us play the game in class, and then, years later, I heard that he and Vaughn had, made it a real thing. It's in all these stores, and there's all these different versions, and it helped me write my album, Many Waters. I think at least four, maybe 5 songs I wrote with the help of that, and I've still been using it, so it's a great way to keep it in the Marlboro family with that. So
Sure is. Well, speaking of keeping it in the Marlboro family, you and Toby were contemporaries, and you're practically neighbors now. You think we should transition over to Toby?
sounds good.
Bye,
Take it away, Toby.
See you soon. See you in a little bit. Hey, Toby.
Oh, here I am. Hello.
Here he is. So coming to us from Northampton, Mass. I'm going to introduce you, unless you want to introduce yourself.
Take it away.
Take it away. All right. Toby says he's been making music since he was in his mother's womb. His childhood toys were instruments from all around the world. They were collected by his father, the co-founder of DOA. Did I do that right?
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
A world music group that is credited with coining the term world music back in the 60s. While Toby now plays in his own unique style, he is heavily influenced by the worldly music that he was raised on and aspires to play as many instruments as he can get his hands on. Maybe Jason's lute if you're lucky. I don't know. I'm not making any promises. He got his professional start recording and touring alongside fellow Marlboro alumnus Mike Harris in an American trio called Soul and Keel, where he solidified an appreciation for creating music that encompasses something beyond itself. Toby plays percussion and MCs for a long-standing 9-piece New World funk band, Shaka Zoba. He also, I'm
Nailed
like,
it again.
you know what? All night I'm nailing it. This is so good. It's so unlike the other ones of these. Anyway, he also curates a popular open mic night downtown in Northampton, where he seeks to fulfill part of his purpose by creating community and providing creative outlets for people who may otherwise struggle to find them, which is so critical, especially now. So hopefully those venues will open up again soon. He's been doing this since his Marlboro days and attributes much of his success to the opportunities that Marlboro allowed him while on the Hill. He is honored to play for anyone who will listen, whether that be around a fire, from the stage, or on a screen. And Toby, I recently learned that you founded Mayfest at Marlboro, and that was celebrated for a decade. It would have been again this year. There were big plans, I heard. What was the inspiration for that?
Well, I started off my sort of like hosting and curating type things with taking over the open mic from Joe Mursky back in the day. In the campus center, and I just had a lot of fun putting that event on, and it made me realize that I wanted to do something a little bit bigger that that sort of gave an opportunity to bring in some people from outside of campus. I was an active member of the Lyceum Committee and other committees that help bring performances to school, and the Marlboro Mayfest it was like the perfect time of year. It's just so beautiful. It was early May. and at least in my recollection on the Hill, there was always a beautiful time of year. Just people were finally starting to pour outside, and I was like, whoa, we need to do something here during this gorgeous time. And in general, you know, it just kind of taps into what I've now kind of discovered is a big purpose of mine, which is, like you've mentioned in my little blurb there, is to bring the arts into community as much as possible and encourage people to perform. So I was honestly, to be perfectly honest, I was very inspired by artists such as Helen Hummel. You know, Helen was one of my favorite people to come to the open mic. She was my superstar each week, you know, or each month when we did them. And her and the other talented people on campus are what made me want to feature that more in a different way. So, and I've been doing that kind of stuff with my life ever since, more or less. So, you know, I got out of my oral examinations actually, and both of the main professors, John Mack and Tom Tolino, my main dude, both of them were like, well, you know, we don't know that you're going to go into early music education, to be honest. We don't know that you're going to be a teacher. We think you're going to do more with this other kind of work that you've been doing pro bono on campus. And sure enough, here I am doing that kind of stuff. So you guys were either right or you sealed me to my fate, one or the other, but either way, it's okay.
John Mack is my neighbor, and I am so excited to let him know that he was honored here this evening. So, all right, take it away, Toby.
Thank you very much, Maya. And thank you to everybody who's here participating tonight. I got to say, these, like, all the digital stuff and all the tech side of the stuff is really frustrating. So I feel for you, Helen. I'm sorry that you had some problems, but it sounded great by the end there. And, you know, I get super nervous because I'm talking to an audience and I see none of you. I'm looking at my own face right now. That's just weird. That's just weird. But I was hearing some beautiful birds over there, Maya, in your yard. So I think I'm going to start with a song that written by the Beatles. I'm sure you all know this tune, but you may not all know that it is actually written by Paul McCartney, partially because of the unfortunate, situation with race relations going on down in the South during the time when it was written. And so a little known fact about the song you probably all know, Blackbird. I'm going to take my headphones off, so I'm not going to hear my echo anymore. Again, please donate, if you can, to Helen's Venmo, which we will then give all of those proceeds to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night. So yeah, a little Blackbird for you, a little warm-up Blackbird. Thank you. For those of you who are pretending that I hear you at home clapping. The rest of the songs I'm going to play tonight are all originals. I have 2 songs that I'm definitely going to play, and then I have a partially written song that I'm going to try and get to if I have enough time. So, this first song is called This Road. It's kind of a working title, but this song was written about a cross-country journey that I took not long after graduating Marlboro College, and it was transformational in many, many ways. I had never traveled the country in this way, and I did it alone. And so I was meditating out on the cliffs of the Badlands of South Dakota, and I got to see all sorts of amazing things across the country. And I stayed with a lot of my friends from the Marlboro community at each stop along the way. And this song is about coming home and looking at my hometown that I was born and raised in, and my father before me, deep roots in that town of Peterborough, New Hampshire, in the Monadnock region, and feeling like the world had changed, feeling like that had changed me, but it had changed and shifted my perspective. So this song is actually a song about perspective, and it's a song about love, but it's more a song about self-love. You'll hear a reference in there that sounds like I'm talking about a lover or something, but it's really a message to myself. As I started this journey, I didn't think it would bring me this far. Trapped by the confines of borders.
I think we lost Toby for a second. He's a little technical glitch there. While he's working that out, I still can't hear you. Nope. Can you hear me, Toby? Yeah, okay. Just wanted to remind people that if you did want to give to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, which is what your performers have decided to donate their tips to this evening, that link can be found at the very, very top of the chat thread. So you can find that there. Any of our other musicians want to join me here? You guys want to hang out with me? Anyone? I don't know how to deal with people who raise their hands, to be completely honest. Anyone else? Hey, hi. Hi, Willy. Hi, Clayton.
Hi. We thought we'd come hang out with you.
Thank you. That was getting really stressful for me. I'm not actually used to having a monologue. So, how's your summer?
Oh, it's going pretty well. Oh, yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Cool.
House over here.
Got like 8 people in the house right now.
Oh, you're kidding. That's great. Do you have other Marlboro alumni there also?
Yes, in fact.
Mia Bertelli.
Yep, Mia Bertelli's here.
Fun.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to repost Helen's Venmo link. And there it is, posting that right now. So what else is going on? So, yeah.
Just filling time.
Just filling time. Do you guys know any jokes? Because I don't know.
No.
Any that you can tell in polite company, anyway?
Okay, what's the loudest pet?
I don't know. Anyone? Does anybody have an answer in
What?
oh, good one, Pamela. But does anybody have an answer for what's the loudest pet? Anyone? No?
Favorite?
I'm not seeing anyone in chat. Okay, hit us.
A trumpet.
A I don't get it.
A trumpet.
A trumpet. Oh, see, this is why I don't tell jokes, because I don't understand it.
It's a new slapper.
So, Pamela,
Audience here.
yeah. Do you have a live audience with you right now? That's awesome. Yay. So Pamela and I is asking for you guys to each maybe share your favorite Marlboro College memory.
Oh, gosh. I have a lot of good memories. I think something that keeps coming back is just remembering all of the times in the sauna in the wintertime, just after like a long days of studying, and really looking forward to that time when we could just go out into the woods away from everything. And there's just so many magical evenings when the snow is falling and you get there and you just see the glow of the fire. And yeah, those are good times.
I love that. When we were doing our project, our little alumni video for the class of 2020, I was able to have a really nice chat with Chris Noth, Mr. Big, that guy. And he actually talked a lot about how he had his dorm room in Mather, and how when he stepped outside in the winter, in particular, how crystal clear the skies were, and how Orion was just right there in the middle of his view.
Yeah.
And he actually named his first son, his first child, Orion. So I think those winter memories at Marlboro are really some of the most precious. It's so quiet up there, and you know, the dark sky campus really just has such an incredible impact. Jason, do you have any particularly special Marlboro memories?
Well, I'm trying
That
to
you can tell.
decide like which one. You know, there's many. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay.
just muted because.
Yep.
Yeah. Hi, Helen. Hi. Welcome back.
So it's kind of a toss-up between the time that Naomi Freitas, is that how you pronounce her? Golly, it's been a long time. Naomi and I were walking from all the way to we were on our way to the campus center before it closed at 11 o'clock at night.
You mean Naima Freitas, right? Naima.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Naima.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was like 10 below zero, you know, freezing cold with snowbanks everywhere, and we're walking on that flat road right in front of halfway, and this $10 bill blows across right in front of us, and we're like, what's that? And we could barely see it. It was really dark, but you know, the starlight and the snow gave enough of a glow to see this $10 bill. So we're like, grab it, and like, well, who did this come from? Did you see anybody? No, there was nobody out here. We're the only people outside. So we went up to the campus center, and like, I think we bought everybody there, which was probably 5 people, something to eat or drink or whatever. You know, we just shared this $10 bill, and probably bought smokes or something stupid like that as well. But anyways,
I miss smoking. I have to admit that.
Yeah, me too, sometimes. Anyways, it was one of those amazing moments where you're spending time with somebody that we were not close. We were not best friends. We just happened to be walking together, and this thing happened, and it was an amazing time of this gift and this sharing, and that's been like emblematic or symbolic for me of what my Marlboro experience is like.
I love that. I actually have to say that smoking at Marlboro is one of my best Marlboro memories. Okay, cover your ears, Clayton and Willie. There was a time when people smoked cigarettes on the dining hall steps. Stop. It was actually pretty central, I know, right? To the culture there, because it wasn't just smokers sitting on the dining hall steps, but everybody sort of gathered on the dining hall steps. We were, Jason and I, the Rod Gander era, and Rod was a smoker, and Will Wooten was a smoker, and Lisa Christensen was a smoker, and and then of course all of our professors were smokers, and sort of people would kind of drift in and out, and you just have these completely silly and sublime conversations that drifted by like smoke, and non-smokers would also drift into that, and that was really I actually really miss being surrounded by that kind of talent in such a serendipitous and chance way. Anyway, Helen, did you want to share? Sorry, Helen, did you want to share a quick little Marlboro memory?
Sure, yeah, you froze right at that moment, and I could see that you said my name, but I couldn't hear it, and I was like, wait, what? Well, there are too many, obviously, but also the smoker's porch at the dining hall. We used to smoke in the campus center too, but that was pretty fun. But the ice storm of 2008, was it 2008? I think it was. That was an incredible experience, getting iced in, because we were used to getting snowed in, but getting iced in is really different. And I remember there were all kinds of shenanigans, and people were supposed to sleep in the campus center, like we brought blankets and stuff, because the dorms were only kept like right above freezing so that the pipes wouldn't freeze. I remember KP and the rest of that gang were going around, so cool, going around with a generator just to keep it hot, like warm enough in each door for the pipes to not to freeze. But I'm mad at my friends in the campus center, so I went and slept in my room stubbornly anyway, and it was one of the most terrifying and cold experiences ever. But we all got up super early the next day and like explored the ice tundra, and that was an incredible, just like magical experience among many, many others.
And dangerous too. Let's not forget all the danger at Marlboro College. Well, oh my God. Well, it looks like Toby is ready to rock again. So do you want to share your Marlboro memory and get back into some music, Toby?
Sure. Can you hear me? Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. And how's the guitar? Do I need to turn it up or not?
A little.
A little bit.
Yeah.
If this is too much. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Maybe
Good balance,
a
everybody.
Little more.
A little more guitar.
Yeah,
Perfect.
more guitar.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry to have to do this, guys, in front of you all. But again, this is what I was talking about. Technical stuff, man. Oh, I might have had it muted. Is that way too loud now? Does that sound all right? Hey, yeah, 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 yeah.
Maybe a little more guitar.
Thank you for bearing with us. Whoa, whoa, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go with that unless anyone tells me not to. Favorite Marlboro memory? My goodness, far, far too many. I'll make it a quick one. I had a moment where I was in the dining hall. So many amazing things happened just like spontaneously in the dining hall because that's where we all congregated. We all, one of the places anyway. And I was always really excited whenever I had friends come in that wanted to like have an impromptu jam session with their guitar. I remember all sorts of different people making that happen for me back then. And one of the ones I loved was with a friend, Michael Thompson, who showed up, and there were some people around us. Some friends of ours were there at the table, but we essentially started singing Total Eclipse of the Heart, like went through the whole thing and had a really awesome time just like belting this song that we both barely knew. So it was, you know, sloppy and wonderful in all of those, you know, wonderful ways. You know, I love things that are imperfect. That's why I like hosting open mic nights, because a lot of times there's a lot of beautiful imperfection happening in that way. But anyway, thank you again for your patience. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully this will sound okay to you guys. And yeah, I think what happened is my speaker actually my speaker overheated. It's a very expensive Bose speaker, and it overheated because I do not have an air conditioner in this room right now. Hope you guys are cooler than I am at the moment. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to play the song that I was originally going to play last if I had time, and it's actually a song that was written about a friend of mine who passed that I used to go to school with at Marlboro College. Some of you will have known Willy Clemetson. He was a dear, dear, dear friend of mine. Loved the hell out of this guy, and he and I used to make a lot of music on the hill during our time at Marlboro. And he's a big reason how he's a big piece of my musical explorations in general. And we'll always be really incredibly grateful for him. He passed away a little over a year ago, and this song is dedicated to him, and it's a song that's in the works. I'm just going to play what I have of it because I love it, and I think this feels appropriate being a Marlboro event. So thank you. It's just called Will's Song for now. Every time I saw you, it made me want to play that song. Or rather you play and I sing along. Two voices becoming one. Two breaths beneath the warm sun. And every hill was a mountain. And every river was a path. To something better, something greater. Something to prove to your past. Every time I saw you, it made me want to play that song. Or rather you play and I sing along. Two voices becoming one. Ooh, two breaths beneath the warm sun. And you're making me homesick. 'Cause I no longer know where home is. All right. Love you, Will. And actually the tag at the end there is one of the songs that we love to sing the most together, called Homesick by Kings of Convenience, in case you recognized it and think I'm trying to rip them off. It's actually an homage. All right. Sounds okay out there? Hope it does, because I'm going to keep making music. And I'm going to just do, I think I'm just going to do one more since we had a little hiccup, and I think I feel comfortable with doing that much for you all. This last song, I'm sorry that I'm not going to complete the one I started. If you want to hear it sometime, let me know, and I'll play you a personal little show for you, okay? So this last song I'm going to do for you is called So What. I'm not going to say much about it because this song has taken many forms while I've played it since I started playing it maybe 4 years ago or so, 3 years ago maybe. And I'm glad things sound good. And I find that music for me is very personal. The music I write is very personal, but it is also, I try to write in a way where you can pull meaning where you need it from the tunes that I write. And I do this with other people's music. I know that when I listen to a song, a lot of times I will listen to the song and I'll feel a certain way and I'll be like, oh my God, this is making me think about this thing. And then I go and I look up the meaning of the song and it has nothing to do with what I felt. And I think that's good. I think that's part of the subjective nature of art and music in general, and it's a big thing that I want to give to you in this moment. So take from this what you will. Yeah. And I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to donate if you can to Helen's Venmo. We will be giving all our proceeds to the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund. This song is called So What? And it just requires a pick. And a guitar, of course. And everything else involved. So what if I sleep all day? So what if I go out to play? And so what if I choose pleasure over the pain inside? So what if I choose to hide? You think you know me, but you don't even know yourself. You think you know me, but you don't even know yourself. And so what if I don't brush my hair? So what? And so what if I don't seem to care? So what if I choose not to let myself be brought down? So what if I leave this town? You think you know me, but you don't even know yourself. You think you know me, but you don't even know yourself. Oh, all we really need is to love someone. So why then do the words always seem to stop at the end of our tongues? And so what if I choose not to see. All the pain and the fear and the suffering. And so what if I choose not to kneel and pray? So what if I choose to stay? You think you know me, but you don't even know yourself. You think you know me, but you don't even know yourself. Oh, I've been digging, I've been swimming, I've been climbing all my life, searching for answers everywhere but inside. You think you know me, but you don't even know yourself. You think you know me, but you don't even know yourself. And so what if I sleep all day? All right, thank you all for having me on. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
It was worth the wait, Toby, for sure.
Oh, thanks.
I wanted to also point out that there's so much serendipity going on. We were in our practice session yesterday, drawing lines. There were none of you that were not connected to all of the rest of you. And, you know, given that there's such a wide range of eras, I thought that was really cool. And I wanted to shout out Levi Gershkowitz, because the reason why you are here today is because my husband Damien and I sat in on a presentation that he did about living the light, and you happened to be there. And he is a Marlboro alumnus, and you know, I don't even know what happened, but at some point somebody was like, "Oh wait, you went to Marlboro? Oh wait, you're a Marlboro person?" And then of course we fell in love, as all Marlboro people, the good ones, do.
It's a beautiful thing. I love that.
It is. So a couple questions came in for you, and I would encourage all of our musicians to look at all the chat, and you'll have that in the follow-up report. There's a report that comes with this event. But quick questions. Sarah wants to know where your open mic location is in Northampton.
Well, when the world is functioning in a more normal fashion, the open mic is, I call it the BOM, the B-O-M. I consider it a creative explosion, no violence intended. And the BOM happens at Bishop's Lounge in downtown Northampton, Massachusetts, so in Western Mass. Bishop's is a great little spot, third floor location, balcony, great drinks, great people. I've made all of my networking connections there with so many amazing, talented people here, and it's given me a lot making that event happen there. So Bishop's Lounge, come check it out. Check out the BOM someday. Awesome. We've been doing digital versions of this a bit too, but as of the moment, I'm taking a break from the digital virtual open mics we've been doing and focusing on putting on shows with other people to help fundraise for Black Lives Matter and other things. So It'll be happening again eventually, though, hopefully.
Thank you. And then do you have a YouTube channel?
There is a YouTube channel for the BOM. I don't know that there's anything. I don't know that there's anything of my own music out there beyond. So yeah, someday there will be a lot of content. I've been spending a lot of years now working up material and repertoire. So hopefully we'll get music out to you soon. And definitely, if you like the BOM page, though, you'll eventually see my stuff come up through there.
Awesome.
Thank you for the interest.
Bye, Toby. We'll see you again
Bye,
in a
Maya.
couple minutes. So, last but not least, all the way from Belfast, Maine. You guys still there? The Clemetson brothers. Yeah.
Here we go.
Do this. Wait, or this? I don't know. One of those. So Willy on the fiddle, Clayton on piano and accordion. The Clemetsons are Maine-based contemporary folk duo, creating instrumental and vocal compositions since they were wee lads. Their music has been featured at dances and concerts around North America and Europe. The brothers have toured with the acclaimed Northern Harmony Ensemble, although not at the same time, teaching and performing harmony music in over a dozen languages and styles. Willy tours with Spin Tuition, a folk trio tying for first place. It's getting late. Come on, that's my first serious fumble. Tying for first place in the Young Traditions Vermont Festival. Spin Tuition's debut album, 7 Year Flood, was released in January of 2020, so that's fresh out there. Clayton has toured as a pianist with the Audrey and Clayton duo and the award-winning Mari Black trio. He has produced 3 original albums of new age piano and fiddle music, and his vocal compositions have been featured on Village Harmony and Northern Harmony albums. And Willy, do you want to tell us a little bit about your time away from Marlboro and what that was like for you without your brother?
Yeah, so Clayton did it first, and I heard a lot about it from him, and then I had the opportunity to go on it in my sophomore year of Marlboro, and I went and realized that music was what I wanted to do. Basically, you get together with a group of people they were around my age, a little older, and sing like 9 hours a day for a few weeks, and then go and perform concerts every night. And we went and toured in England and a little bit in Scotland and France and Spain, Basque Country, and taught music as well. And so I learned a lot of skills from that. It was an amazing experience for sure.
You got a taste of the big world, and it couldn't get you back to Marlboro, huh?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, you are the only performers this evening benefiting from a live audience, so we're expecting to hear some hooting and hollering, and I'm gonna get out of here, and there you go, yay. And we'll catch up with you after you perform. Take it away.
Great. So our first set, I write a lot of my own tunes on the fiddle, and this is a set of tunes that we would probably play for a contra dance, and I have with my other band. And the first one is called Tune Up Your Mando, and the second is called I-Bar, which is one that I wrote on Northern Harmony when I was in I-Bar in Basque Country. So enjoy. you. It's so hot here, we had to do a little during the show tuning, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's sweltering. I'm dying. Okay, I hope the sound is okay. Just checking for any comments about it.
It's great. Thank you.
Oh, cool.
Sweet.
Great. So the next piece is going to be, we're going to sing a song, but first we're going to do a instrumental vocal warm-up.
Yeah. That's what singers do.
Yeah. AKA we're going to improvise something, because we also like to do that.
This is new for us, a little bit.
Yeah, we've never performed this kind of thing before, but we're going to give it a try.
We tried that many more times before, and it sounded different each time.
Very different. Okay. I love doing that. So our next piece, we're gonna play "Ain't No Ash Will Burn" by Walt Aldridge, and yeah, just want to put another plug for the donating to the defense fund. You can find the info in the chat. You guys all know that by now.
go.
Let's do it.
Ain't No Ash Will Burn. I have seen snow that fell in rain, just like at Marlboro, and rain on cloudless days. Some things were always bound to change. There ain't no ash will burn. Love is a precious thing, I'm told. Burns just like West Virginia coal. But when the fire dies down, it's cold. There ain't no ash will burn. Something that I'm not. You can't stoke a fire that we ain't got. There ain't no ash will burn. We must leave something dear behind. There ain't no ash will burn. Love is a precious thing, I'm told. It burns just like West Virginia coal. But when the fire dies down, it's gone. Sweet. Thank you. Hey,
we added the
yeah.
clap track in there.
Yeah.
So.
So we just have one more quick set of tunes. These are also ones that I've written more recently, post-quarantine. And the first is called April Jester, kind of about someone who lives in our house who
might be sitting
loves to
right
prank
over there.
people. And the last one is called allium for my favorite family of vegetables. Okay, I think I'm gonna start this one.
I think I might jump in the creek after this performance.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to invite our panelists, all of our musicians, you're technically panelists too, come back on, please. Toby, Jason, if you're still with us, and Helen, if your iPad hasn't blown up on you, which is a thing. Yay. Hi, Jason. Yay. Everybody's here.
There we go.
So much fabulous music. Thank you.
That, oh my
Yeah.
God, you guys, this is so incredible. And I know we've gone a little bit over time, but I still want to make sure that we can answer some questions from folks in the audience. So I'm going to read a couple of comments here, and I think I'm not sure how many questions there are, but first of all, the first comment was such a cool project to make a lute. So that would be you, Jason.
Thank you.
I have a question about that personally. Was that
Yeah,
loop picture that they showed? Did you see it? Because it almost looks like an oud. Is it an oud?
the lute, actually, the word lute is just it comes from oud. Of course, it would be al oud. Say that 15 times fast, you wind up with lute. So yeah, the Moors brought their ouds north from Africa to Spain. In Spain in the 1200s or so, it changed into a fretted instrument with more and more strings. And as the technology evolved, we wound up with a lute, and that became the standard. In Spain, it continued to evolve into the viola and then the guitar. But yeah, that's where the lute comes from. It comes from the oud of ancient times. Used to be a 4-course instrument. Now it's many, many, many more. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Julie Powers says, thank you, Helen. She also says, as someone raised in a metropolitan area, the dark sky on campus was quite eye-opening at 18.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that she got to work with Mari Black too, doing harp, dance, etc. Jamie Tanner, yay. Jamie, I'm so glad that you could join us tonight. Says, hi, Willy and Clayton. She probably wouldn't have said it like that, but that's how I'm going to say it. So yeah, we posted a couple of additional links for places where you can donate to help fight social inequities and fight for social justice. There we go. Into the chat. So you have a few different options if Venmo is not a thing for you. So thank you, Nancy May, for asking that question. And Julie Power says, woohoo. Thanks for playing for us. Are there any other questions from the audience or questions that you all want to ask each other?
I do want to quickly mention too that I posted a link to this Zoom call on Facebook right before we started, and added a donation button for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund as well, and we have so far raised $125 there. So it's just, I don't even think any of those people who donated came onto the show. It probably just people randomly wanting to help. So that's wonderful. Thank you, whoever did.
I bet some of them came onto this show.
I hope so.
Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. So it doesn't look like, let me just check chat real quick. Oh, wait. Phoebe says you are also talented. I know, right? That's why they're here. I did that. I picked them. Let's see.
Well done.
I know. Thank you. Yeah, lots of, I hope you all have a chance to sort of scroll through the chat comments. People are very, very appreciative of your music, and it looks like they've really enjoyed the evening, as I have as well. Do you all have sort of any parting words, parting thoughts at this point? I don't really want this to end, but I didn't plan on it going this late, so I only tested my outdoor light until like around 8:45, and I'm not complaining. This is awesome. But yeah, anyone?
You have great lighting right now, Maya.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
The glow of the computer screen.
I'm curious if you know how many people are watching.
Right now we have around 31. I think at our peak we had 46, and
Cool.
people have kind of come and gone as they were able to. Oh, you're welcome, Nancy. It makes me so happy to be able to do this. Honestly, it's a real joy. One of the greatest things about this job has been to be able to bring people together in this way and to celebrate our alums the way that they truly, truly, truly should be celebrated and honored, and to daylight the hard work that you all have, because, you know, it's, you never stop. None of you, I know all of you a little bit, and I know that none of you ever stop working ever. And, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, you never ever stop working. And I think that that's a real characteristic of, you know, Marlboro people. And it's wonderful to see how that develops into art and music and scholarship and philosophy and journalism. So
Yeah, I would say just that I acknowledge that this has a sense of somberness around it because it is the last thing that Marlboro College is doing in an official capacity. But I think it's very important that, especially since there are a bunch of alumni probably watching right now, I believe, it's important to remember that, you know, our work, as you say, we're always working. I feel like we're all working, maybe not always doing jobs, but we're all working to kind of be present in this, on this planet of ours, and take our unique experience that we are fortunate enough to have gotten from Marlboro College and move forward. I mean, everyone has heard this said before, and I'm not saying anything new, and that's part of the importance of this, I think, is as we all go out into the world as Marlboro, we say goodbye to Marlboro as it was, but we never have to say goodbye to what we experienced. And I think that so far, from what I can tell, just about every single Marlboro alum that I have ever met or talked to, and people that I know personally, they're just some of the most spectacular human beings that I know. And I know that Marlboro is not entirely responsible for that, because I know that we all come from very different backgrounds that led us to that place. But I also know that Marlboro was sort of a battleground for figuring out how we were going to function in society. And I think that right now there's just so much going on that brings tears to the eyes at times, that makes the heart ache. There's a lot of really unfortunate things going on, but at the same time, we have amazing people left and right scattered across the planet now, not just from Marlboro, but from all sorts of great places, but Marlboro people especially. And I think we have a responsibility to take that experience that we are fortunate enough to have had together and sort of spread the message of community. I think a big part of the problem in the world right now is that community is struggling. This idea, this concept, it shouldn't be a concept, it should just be a thing. But, you know, with the technological age, a lot of us are detaching from one another. And I know that part of why I do what I do personally and professionally, and the reasons why I go into the world with the messages that I carry from Marlboro, a lot of those things are because of my experience there and learning about what community meant to me, talking one-on-one with people. Go talk to people. Have those conversations. May they be challenging. May they challenge you, and may they allow you to grow and learn and become better for it and them as well. So I feel like we have a big responsibility to do that, and I know that we all will continue to spread that into the world. So I'm honored to be a Marlboro alum, and this was a really special treat for me personally to be able to be part of this event. So thank you, Maya.
thank you, Toby.
Can I speak to that a little bit? I agree, Toby, with much of what you said, but I also want to sort of put a plug in for the community that continues on, and for me and for my generation, that from Marlboro, it's been this so-called JALF group, JALF, named for one of our members that passed away, and many of us donated to create a scholarship fund in his name. But that was my first experience on Facebook when I joined a few years ago, and I found an incredibly supportive and loving community that made me question what I'd always heard about Facebook being really cutthroat and nasty. Certainly there has been a lot of vitriol surrounding the Marlboro closure, but I've also connected with a lot of amazing people. I mentioned Chris Sherp at one of our reunions, and I hope that there's other groups from other generations that are able to pull together and create an ongoing conversation and community and loving and caring for one another. as we have largely, or at least I feel that way. I know also that Marlboro was not always the healing and wonderful and amazing experience for everybody. But I know a bunch of people are finding through the people that they went to school with that the community carries them, even though the Marlboro College experience didn't necessarily.
Thank you for that, because I didn't want to make it seem too dark and gloomy. I agree that there are lots of beautiful pockets in the world of community.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jason. And even though so much is up in the air right now with the Emerson merger or whatever it is, and all of those related issues, I do believe that there will be ways for the alumni community to hang together and stay together. And I believe that there will be future events and opportunities to connect in a variety of ways. And I really so badly wish that I could tell you what those things were right now, but we're all going to have to sweat it out for a little while longer before we know what that's going to look like and all of the resources that are available to us. I want to let people know that my last day is going to be next Wednesday, June 24th. I'm having an operation on the 25th. I'm going to get bionic. I'm getting my hip replaced. I'm so excited. It's weird, but I'm really excited. So yeah, so let me know, all of you, if you have any questions, any needs, anything that I can help you with between now and then. Yeah, any parting words, Clemetsons, Helen?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I mean, you already said it, that there's going to be, the alumni community is going to continue on, and that feels good to hear, because I had left the Marlboro community with a feeling of excitement to be part of this larger alumni community all of a sudden, and I'm still excited about that, and still want to explore those connections and those opportunities. And yeah, and especially now, like, Marlboro is a place I was planning on returning to, and now that that's not going to be a possibility in the same way, I'm even more excited to find ways to connect with the people that hold the spirit of that place.
Helen, any thoughts? I can't hear you. Are you muted somehow?
Not muted, but you
Better. We got you now.
Okay, I didn't do anything, but my iPad sucks. Just thank you for including me, and it was really special to be a part of this. And Marlboro makes its way into my life in every way, so I'm sure it will continue to do that. I mean, I live with a Marlboro alum. She has a cat that she found like under a cabin at Marlboro, who still lives with us. I'm looking at Tobey LaRoche's father's art from Lee Sanders, another right there. I mean, it's just like, and I'm just sure it'll continue to be that way, especially if we try to make it continue. So
Yeah, shout out to Laura, by the way.
I would actually love to see this exact thing happen, at least on a like annual, biannual basis, and not us, you know, have other new alums that are, because I'm sure there's a lot of talented alums out there musically that can participate in something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I would support any of those efforts. And we are here on this platform by the grace of the President's Office Zoom platform. So thank you, Kevin and Tracy, for letting us use this platform in that way. It's been amazing, actually. This is the third Zoom session that we've done, and they've all been really magical in super different ways, and I would love to see this continue. So do what we can to make that happen. So, well, I'm going to end this. Oh, wait, we've got, let's see. Yeah, Sarah Mae Schultz says yes. I don't know what she's saying yes to, but it's got to be something good, because if you know Sarah Mae, it's always something good. She's amazing. So I'm going to end with a couple of quotes from Marlboro's first alumnus, Hugh Mulligan, whose backstory is ridiculous. Go on to the Marlboro website and work your way through the Q&A that they did with him as a part of the Early Voices series. But I'm going to share a couple of things. He ended up being kind of a big deal as a journalist and was a guest at royal weddings and things like that. The first thing that the first quote that I'm going to read from him it reminds me a little bit of what Sean Cole said at commencement last year. He had a motif through his address that was "Things Come Around." So we lost Hugh Mulligan many years ago, but this was something that he said. "I always tell kids today, if you're going to start a newspaper career, don't do it in a good government era. Corruption is very good for bylines. Good government will get you nowhere in the newspaper, but that's how I ended up as a journalist." So things come around, we're going to get through this. So there's that. So the second quote from him was true for him in his age at Marlboro, and I think it's true for every one of us today as well. And he says, you know, to make the most of the opportunities that you have here at Marlboro is maybe to realize that the ones around you will probably be your friends for life, and maybe at its root, the best batch of people you will ever come across.
So far, that's true.
Yeah. So held it together for that long. Sarah May. All right. I think that is going to do it for all of us. And I'm just so glad that you all were here with us tonight. And we will be sending out a follow-up email with links and resources from all of our artists this evening, and wishing you all well, and please do stay in touch with me. Thank you, and you are definitely the best batch of people I've ever come across. So cheers to all of you.
Love you, Maya. Thank you.
Love you
Bye.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.